Welcome back, everybody, here to the Cowboys Fan Show. It's our kickoff episode, and every week we are going to have a fan of the week joining us here on set. This week we have Mr. Kurt Olsner here joining us. Mr. Kurt was at the game on Sunday.
That's right.
Why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about your fan background?
I've been a fan since I can remember. Season ticket holder since '98. It's been a little rough, but I see some light at the end of the tunnel here. I think we've turned things around.
So you've been a really lifelong Cowboys fan.
Absolutely.
What has been the peak moment and what has been the lowest of the low?
Oh, probably I would say peak moments would have been the Super Bowl period of the '90s. The lows probably the Dave Campo era. We just never could seem to get anything established with regard to building a foundation for this team, and I think finally that's begun to happen. So.
Absolutely. So last Sunday, the Cowboys suffered a huge loss. Possibly the best player on the Cowboys went down, broken foot, Dez Bryant. Let's see what Coach Garrett has to say about that in his presser.
Well, Dez is a really good football player. I think we all know that. Anybody who's followed our team or really has followed the NFL knows the kind of impact that he can have on a game. And, he's been a big play guy for us for a long time. His production on the field speaks for itself, but he also has a really positive impact on our team because of how he plays, the spirit that he plays with, the energy, the passion. It's really contagious. So you miss all of those things. You can't really replace Dez Bryant. There aren't Dez Bryant's waiting out there in the street. He's a special guy. He's a unique guy, and we're certainly going to miss him. But having said all that, the nature of this league is the next guy has to be available, and everybody else has to rally around the cause. And we anticipate doing that. But our guys did a good job of that last night in the game. Just kind of kept going, kept playing, and that's what we'll do going forward.
Surgery tomorrow, Jason, and do you still anticipate 4 to 6?
Yeah, that's what they tell us. And again, all these things are just really, they're premature. You have a plan, you make an initial diagnosis, you have a prognosis, you come up with a plan, and then you see, what happens from there. You evaluate them day by day. But that is the plan. We anticipate it's a 4 to 6 week injury for most guys, and we'll just see how that plays out.
So there you see what Coach Garrett had to say about that Dez Bryant injury. It is being reported as a broken foot, broke the 5th metatarsal. It's the little bone underneath your pinky foot. He's getting a screw put in. They expect him to be back within 4 to 6 weeks. How do you expect the Cowboys to make do without Dez?
Well, I'll point out that they didn't have him on the last couple drives of the Giants game. So, ultimately, it's going to be an increased role. I think you're going to see more Jason Witten, personally, more Gavin Escobar. Of course, Terrence Williams will be stepping up. Cole Beasley will be stepping up. Ultimately, they're just going to have to get the ball to other people, and I think Romo showed that he was able to do that in this last game.
Absolutely. Personally, I think he's not going to be missed as much on the field as he will be in the locker room. Dez is a fiery competitor. You've seen the spirit. I don't know if you saw the video of after the game when he was outside the locker room, ladies and gentlemen, jumping up and down, congratulating his teammates. And once he finishes doing that, he limps back to the locker room with that broken foot. So other topics here, the Cowboys running back situation. That was a huge question mark coming into the season. How are they going to balance Randall and Dunbar and Darren McFadden? I think they did a great job of that on Sunday night. What did you see?
Little concerned because instead of getting those 4 and 5 yard carries, we were tending to get 2 and 3 yards. We were seeing a lot of 3rd and 8. And I'm just comparing that to the previous running back situation. I think that they want to stick with Randall. I think Randall's been there the longest. I think Dunbar kind of found a nice little niche for himself with being able to receive out of the backfield. So ultimately, I think they're just going to keep pounding the rock. They're just going to have to, hopefully try to get a couple more yards on those carries.
Yeah, and I thought they balanced it out very well. They had Joseph Randall in there for the first drive, and they would get out to Lance Dunbar on those little swing passes. And I think that's where Lance Dunbar is most effective. When you can get him going sideline to sideline, when he has a linebacker covering him or a safety covering him, those guys do not have the coverage skills that it takes to cover Lance Dunbar. And I think, personally, if they keep pounding Joseph Randle in there and, spelling him for Darren McFadden every now and then, McFadden sort of the power back, Randle and Dunbar are sort of more the speed backs, sort of like the Cowboys had a few years ago when they had Tashard Choice, Felix Jones, and Marion Barber. I think the Cowboys will be okay as far as the running back situation goes.
Right.
And next up, we're going to talk about the Randy Gregory injury. Gregory, high draft pick there by the Cowboys, and he was, he showed flashes of brilliance in the preseason coming off the edge. How big is this injury going to affect the Cowboys also?
Well, I mean, he was showing flashes of brilliance, and I mean, obviously his prospects looked good. However, I don't know that we could actually say that he has established himself as a game changer at this point. Dallas is just going to have to find a way to get it done without him, basically.
Absolutely, and we're waiting on Greg Hardy to come back, so hopefully Randy Gregory's not gone too long. So go ahead and stick around with us, ladies and gentlemen. We will be back next for the scouting report. We'll go ahead and look ahead to next week's matchup versus the Eagles. Don't go anywhere.